My Van and Melanine, and well met indeed. I'm Adrian, and welcome back to Middle-earth as we continue on with the roaming armies of Khand. We are besieging the Darwinian town of Zanzia, which we will rename when we take it because it's got the wrong name. Our captain up here, Mirdad, is moving down to Zanzia to try and stop it from rebelling. Probably won't get there. Probably won't stop it rebelling, but we'll do what we can. Our capital hates us, but it doesn't hate us to the point of rebellion, so we're happy to continue on. And of course, over at Zarnanoost, Captain Skip and ourselves are having a little war of attrition as he attempts to siege us down. Unsuccessfully, I might add. Zanzia does not like the fact that I took the heir of our nation away and has kicked up a bit of a fuss since then, but fundamentally still serves its purpose, and that is where we are. So now we continue on. Now, obviously, there was not an introduction to today's episode, and I was tempted to not do introductions for Khand at all, but actually I find myself oddly missing them. But it was never my intention to do an introduction to week 1 or week 2, because I like to get to a point in the campaign we've actually done a load of stuff first. And so when we revisit Khand, not next week, but the week after we've gone back to the Reunited Kingdom for a turn, I will probably do an intro then to see where we are. Looking forward to that. Speaking of the intros, I am once again hugely indebted to a fellow named Premi, E-N for November, Premi, because you will see when I do the next intro that he has created something for me, and he is refusing to take any remuneration for this, despite my attempts to try on a number of occasions. And I am really grateful to him, and I think it looks fantastic. And you'll see what I'm talking about when we do an intro next week with the reunited kingdom of Gondor and Arnor. But for now, just hang tight, knowing that something cool visually is coming along. It's not a huge game changer or anything. He hasn't created some sort of like visual film in the background or anything like that. But what he has created is still excellent. A nice little boost of quality to the intros, and I think you will like it. So I'm grateful to him, and I just want to say that now while I'm still thinking of it, and because I will only remain grateful as time goes on, but I want to just let you know that it's on its way. Right, let's go hit these people for round 2. Honourable victory! Using our experience and superior cavalry command, we will run rings around our enemy today. And we will shoot at them with many arrows. And this time we won't do what we did last time and get caught in melee with them. Oh dear, what on earth is just happened there? It just alt-tabbed. Oh, well, at least it came back quickly. That's rare. Must have pressed a button or done something that made the computer not like what I was doing. Alright, not falling foul of the same thing as last time. Ah, the sprites haven't been updated. Or have they? Have they got red cloaks? No, very few of them have red cloaks. In fact, almost none of them do. Yeah, the sprites haven't been updated. That's interesting. Sprites are an incredibly easy thing to do, but incredibly boring thing to do. They are one of the few things which is akin to just copying and pasting an entry 4 or 5 dozen times, and it's just dull.
Only half the enemy force remains. We must pray they lose their will to fight.
Alright, I don't think I'm going to gamble on charging them, although I don't know. Oh, they're moving away. Yeah, we might be able to. Go on. No, they turned around. Two. We lost 2. Oh, they did lose some, though. Alright, let's lure them into the trap of the towers again. I'd like to win this on this one, if I'm able to. I don't really want to have to keep going. I have to fight a third one after this if we don't win this one. Right, when they get really close. That's lovely. Got a good few of them there. Oh, they turn back around again. Ah, but balls to it.
The enemy's
yes!
Scour them from this is
2.
the most crushing.
Good charge, friends. Using everything at Khan's disposal, we have put them down, and our people cry, yes, we can. Yes, we can. Alright, so Darwinian is pretty much done and dusted. They are wrapped up quite nicely. We've put a little bow around their defeat, and we are relishing in that victory. Reveling, you may even say, in that victory.
We have prevailed.
Zananust continues to be ours. A 70%. We'll take a 70%. Oh, it's going to lose 10% of that anyway. Oh, so that's good. So it's just at Zanzia. I'm hoping that Zanzia will bring some of their forces in. But I am going to take you two out of there. Because as we've just noted, the addition of the cavalry made no change. So I'll just show you that again so that we're all on the same page. 50%, absolutely no difference. So we'll take out the ones that are good. If it's not making any difference, you might as well head over to the army. I can't get this place to like us until either the culture grows. As our culture grows, that will slowly decline, but at 50% it's liable to rebel at any moment. But the population is already at 150. See, this is what I just hate. This is where Medieval 2's older style, older engine really, really lets it down. Because the population of Zanzia is 151 people, and the garrison of Zanzia is 162 people. There is quite literally one soldier per one citizen, and yet they are still threatening rebellion. How can 150 people overthrow 160 armed men? It just wouldn't work. They're citizens. For those 150 are not all able-bodied men. There'll be women, and there'll be children, and there'll be elderly. And we have got 160... Alright, they're only marauders, but the game shouldn't... That doesn't matter. They're still military-trained persons who fight in the field. There was one of them's got experience, for crying out loud. Of course no one was harmed in the disaster, because there's no one left to kill. It can't go lower, so they can't do anything else. Oh, grumble, 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 grumble. Right, let's merge those together. So now we've got these three here that aren't really worth anything. Have we got a fort somewhere we can put them in that's around this area? Or do we just use them? No, I think we should turn into a fort. Tell you what, go and sit in that fort up there. Turn it over to our side, if you would. We are creeping towards having money. When they go in that fort, that'll only get better. Oh, Zananust likes us now. That's good. Right, what do we actually want to build here? Dark Sanctuary. Same in all the other locations. So once it gets going, it's the Dark Sanctuary start getting built. Be right where we want to be. Oh dear. Distance to capital. You're joking. The capital's there. You're basically in the same province. We can't attack Zanzia, so we have to hope that that Darwinian throws something at us, but I'm not sure that they will. New family member. Otherwise, nothing of note. It goes on. Now, I'll state straight away, this Saturday, I will be able to do another live stream. So Saturday morning, I will live stream the last episode of this first round of Candish episodes. So do come and watch that if you'd like. It'll be sometime on Saturday morning, my time, which is GMT, Greenwich Mean Time. If you look at a map, go to the middle. That's your one. Unless you have national-centric maps, which I assume you probably all do, actually. But so don't do that, because it'll be wrong. Not the map, but looking at the middle of your map probably will not show you the United Kingdom. Rioting. They really, really, really want to rebel over here, don't they? They just can't get enough of it. Absolutely pathetic. Down to 4 turns.
How may I serve? We march.
Oh, Zanris has gone to an orange. Yellow, sorry. So is Kitaj. Starting. All of the other places are starting to slowly decide that they like me. Oh, but what? Sorry, what? You've rebelled, and our generals died, and then suddenly 3 units have spawned out of nowhere. Sorry, where's my general?
Yes, my master.
I'm gonna have to call
As you will.
nonsense on this. Very well. If no one's coming over here for this, then we don't need to leave this army here. So, I tell you what, leave the 2 best there.
Yes.
You have a lot of movement range.
Move at first light.
You head back then and take Zanzia back. I can't believe our general just got killed. Just up and killed in the bloody uprisings. The fact that it joined Darwinian again is a joke. and that it came with 4 units, and that they've moved out immediately. If Rune gets Zanzia, I'll be really disappointed. It's a really useful settlement if we can get them to like us. This is the downside of having almost no culture and spreading out quickly rather than slowly.
Noble one.
That place is going to go soon as well. You just know it, don't you? You just know it. 3 turns there now. As we've seen, there's no one in Mornathel, really, so there's nothing doing over there.
Yes, noble master. That's right, fool. It's an enemy.
It's an enemy. Alright, Withergast, what have you got?
This will be an honor.
3 privateer axemen. Do me a favour. Gods above.
Not one of us shall fail to give all.
Absolutely ridiculous. Privateers. The Darwinian, the bloody Darwinrim, up against it all, rather than using their cash to seek a peace with me and actually live out their days in their own lands, they've decided to use what little money they have to pay off mercenaries to move in under cover of darkness, I assume, and oust our small garrison in Zanzia. And the buggers took the money. Well, kill them. Kill them all. Got nomad cavalry over there. We move the cavalry away that normally they give up chase, as we've seen with this one over here. Alright, Wind Riders of Khand versus 145 Privateer Axemen. That is such a good hit. He is such a good general. Orash is absolutely storming this. I mean, don't get me wrong, Arkish is powerful, but Orash's charge is so brutally effective. I just never expected him to be that good. Just cutting them down bit by bit. You're going away over the hills and far away. Privateer Axeman, Nomad Horseman, come on boys. Nomad Horseman on is good.
Only half the enemy force
They
remains.
still kill about 20 or 30, but let's have a look. 7 attack and an 8 charge versus the 15 and an 8. It's just... the Wind Riders are really, really brutal. Really effective.
For the moment, the fickle smile of fortune shines upon us. Pray, this is a portent of a victory.
Portent of a victory! Did they even charge? Didn't look like they did they? I think we just lost a load more archers than we needed to because they barely did anything.
Our foe fights with horns made of clay.
If it's not
We are
Orash,
winning the battle.
no one's doing anything. He's out here winning the day for us, and the rest of them couldn't give a hoot. Right, that's got them running. Oh, looks like they've decided that it's better if they do nothing. Oh no, I've lost so many of them.
General lies
Oh,
dead. The enemy must curse the day they were born.
53, dear oh dear.
the
And 61 of them
this
from
most
oh,
wondrous
God.
triumph.
240, though, Wind Riders. Those Nomad Horsemen, dear oh dear. I mean, I know I left them in battle and let them die, and oh, yeah, as is my wont. But still, that's a damn shame. That is a picture of Valinor by Ted Naismith. And the reason I know that is because I was purchased a Tolkien calendar for this year, as I often am. This year's collection of Ted Naismith paintings, and that's on one of the months.
Please, my lord.
I don't know which one. But I remember flicking through and seeing it and thinking, oh, that's what that one is actually supposed to depict. Because I've seen people use that image for a number of different Lord of the Rings cities.
An honor to
But I've always assumed it was
We
Valinor.
will engage them
And
honor.
indeed, it is listed as Valinor.
How may I serve?
How may I serve? Oh, we're creeping in towards money. In fact, I think by the end of this episode, we may well actually make money. I really don't want to have to leave Orash in Zanzia. He's way too good out on the field. Same as Arkish. Arkish is just too useful to leave as a governor of a city. They are far and away our best military commanders. Because obviously Arkish's security means that he gets a bigger bodyguard size than your standard Kandish generals. So even though he just has a standard Kandish bodyguard, he gets much more out of it than the others do. Right, who's coming and having a go then? Oh, you're gonna die. Sorry, old chum, but this is where Zanzia falls. Boom, boom, dum boom, boom. Right, they attacked us, so we have the luxury of not standing in the forest. Let's go out onto the plains over here. What the hey?
The enemy show the winds of fate have turned against us. The foe seems to be winning the battle.
Let's get up close and personal. Ravanian hunters, Ravanian spears. Target the riders, as usual. They are the ones that have the best chance of really crippling our assault. And then if you've had enough of them, hit the spearmen.
The enemy are badly bloodied. They have lost half their men.
Alright, and now stop firing, because that was excellent.
We have cut off the serpent's head. The enemy general is slain. Let's see how these snakes fight without their head.
Wipe the hunters away in sudden onset. Here we go. 51, shaken. 50, 47, 44, wavering, and they're off.
Scour them from the field.
Yeah, they're dead. Before Swain can even get involved. Sorry, Swain. Your days are done. You have served your country well. I mean, I guess. Maybe. You might have served your country well. But this is where your serving days are done. And now we wait. Everyone has about half of their arrows left. Oh, nice sword as well. I like that. Doodle doodle. You might want to get your bows out, chaps. There's more. And they shall come down out of the forest in a moment. Pull back a little bit. Let's get complete advantage. Alright. Standing on the hill before you is Darwinian's last true bloodline of their ruling family. Although having said that, Vine Lord Swain comes at us. But what is the name of the captain of the Vintner Court? Is he Vine Lord? Vine Lord Howin and then Vine... can't remember what I named the faction leader. Anyway, Howin is somewhere. I've not seen Howin yet. We haven't killed him, so he's definitely alive somewhere. But Swain is unfortunately going to die. An ignominious end here in the wastes.
The enemy are badly bloodied. They have lost half their men.
That is a brutal shelling with the arrows. That's wonderful to see. Bish bash bosh. There were 8. That was a good little charge. Yeah, it's got it.
Victory is well within our grasp.
Just Swain left, I think.
Our foe will surely have cut off the... This is a most crushing victory.
2. Oh dear.
Your name will live in marble, and our foe...
In sand! It sounds a little bit like he says, our foes in send. Which for a while, when you hear a word and you're not really paying attention, sometimes your brain just makes up a meaning for it. Because it assumes, that's the word I've definitely heard. I trust the source that's presented it. Ergo, that must be a word. Thereby my brain instantly creates up some sort of like faux definition. And when he says, and our foes in sand... When I first heard it and I thought he said incend, I just immediately assumed that was the opposite of ascend. And thereby, our name was going to live in marble, and our foes' names will live in send. As in, they'll decrease, they'll decline, the opposite of ascend. And I realise now how absolutely stupid that is, now that I've said that out loud. But I just couldn't understand why he kept saying incend. It's like, I'm sure incend's not a word, but they, like, a creative assembly surely are not just making up words for their victory speeches. So I was forced to create meaning to the word. So there you go, add it to your dictionaries. Incend. Suddenly added it to mine. Alright, with the fall of Zanzia and Swain dead, we are going, once we've taken back Zanzia. Now that means we're going to have to spend more time on the siege, actually.
This will be an honorable battle.
Because again, we can't attack them, we don't have any ground forces, and I do not want an...
Has the time come to
280%. Is that all from Governor's influence? Oh, that is so much. Right, first things first. You can't be called Zanzia, sorry. We can leave you as Shia, though, I suppose. But I don't really like that. I'm not really sure. I wanted to name it after something canned related because of how much excellent work we've done. Let's call it Sujist instead, because that's totally unrelated and it just pops into my mind. Someone suggested in the last episode, in the comments, that the naming convention sounds a lot like the people from Game of Thrones. Is it Dothraki or Dothraki? But I'm afraid that whilst that may be what your headcanon would love, I've never read nor watched Game of Thrones, so I don't know what the Dothraki name then sounds. I'm sure it is Dothraki. But anyway, so it's not influenced by that. It's just off the top of my head. Right, we are very, very shortly about to make money, which is lovely, and we have got most of our troublemakers under control. Even Sujist is at 110%, which is nice, but we don't want to leave Variag horse archers there. So what I think I will do is merge those together.
How may I serve? We move.
Yes,
Karnarkish will sit there just for a time until we can decide what we want to do with him. We don't want to waste Variag horse archers. We put Captain Sakal in there. But we need to... Oh, just as we're going over. For goodness sake. At least it went Rebel rather than Darwinian. I suppose that tipped it over the balance. That tipped it over, didn't it? That small... Oh, I thought it could at least last for one turn. But that garrison decline was enough to drop it below. And then suddenly the garrison is 3 times the size of the number of people that lived in the city. God, it's castles. Castles are so difficult to keep in check. Because you can't change the tax rate. You are forced to tax the people. I never understood why you can't change the tax rates of castles. And I can understand it if castles didn't even have a tax rate. But they do. And that's what makes it ridiculous.
Orders. We march. How may I serve? We march. We move.
We move.
We march.
You're probably going to need a few more, actually, because of the garrison size. 4 units of Ravanian spearmen. 800 men have just appeared out of nowhere to garrison a town that had 150 people in it. And the game looks at that and goes, yeah, that works. Absolute nonsense. Oh, that's what he says. We are allies, but not yours to command. Right, I want Zanzia. I'm not suing for peace till we've got that. I'll do a toggle foggle war at the end of this one, though, in 5 or so minutes' time, to see what the rest of the world does look like. But we are only 55 turns in, so it's unlikely to be anything drastic. Although, in terms of modding, I don't have, as usual, I'm afraid, anything to add to today's episode. I haven't had a look over the modding changes, but the last time I did, there was only a few things since the last developer diary. I still can't tell you if version 5 is on the horizon, what will be added to it, when it will come out. As time goes on, I feel more and more and more confident that version 5 will be the last version of DaC, and then DaC will live on in changes, or changes to Divide and Conquer will then live on in submods, is very much my current thinking from what I've seen of the modding team. But you never know. Maybe it'll carry on. I would just, in my mind, and again, let me caveat every time I talk about DaC now, let me caveat it by saying that modders can do what they want with it. I am merely reflecting on what I see of it, but that is all. I don't expect anything. But I would have rather DaC had gone out with a bang rather than a whimper. And by that I mean I really would have rathered the version 5 would have come at you all with all of the changes that we wanted to make as a big hurrah, big fanfare, and then nothing ever happened after that. So at least you would have gotten all the things that we wanted to put into version 5, and you would have had that, and that would have been brilliant. But as it stands, I think instead, version 5 will be a really lessened version of DaC. Far fewer features than were initially intended. So it will feel like it will go out with a whimper rather than a bang. Oh, who just killed them? Was that a javelin? Yeah, we're not going to win this, unfortunately. We're going to need... Khan Arkish is good. Khan Arkish is good, but there's just too many spears here. Not to mention the fact that they've got javelins right here. Did I accidentally just target the hunters? Probably, because I'm playing at ×6. But I just don't like playing anything other than ×6. Oh yeah, let's not bother with skirmish mode. Screw that. Let's just stand around. That makes absolutely complete sense. Who needs skirmish mode in their game, am I right? I'm not going to run until we've at least fired every arrow, but we are going to lose this. Let the marauders die. I don't care. Marauders don't do anything. They're an absolutely
Curse the
useless
sun
unit.
that shines on our disgrace. We must turn the wind of battle, or we will taste ashes instead of victory.
No, we have killed an awful lot with just arrows, though. On your way, sir, on your way.
Our cursed foe has stolen victory from us.
229 of them died. Goodness. Oh dear. Well, we'll get the other horse archers over. We'll besiege it again. We'll just keep doing that until they don't have enough to rise up anymore. Well, we'll get to a point where we could probably win, actually. But most of the cavalry has died. We'll finish them off in the next one. In the next siege. Get the spears, get the hunters. Yeah, it'll be fine.
We will redeem ourselves.
Goodness gracious. Oh, I really should have just exited. Because then he only moves back at one space.
How may I serve?
How may I serve?
We will engage them honorably.
Alright. Well, we got Sugis, which likes us an awful lot more, which is good. Just about pays for its upkeep? Yes. Oh, and we just started making money. Hey! Hey-oh! When we end turn, then, we're going to get something build. Because we're actually making 3,000 gold coins, apparently. Fantastic.
We close for battle.
Oh, and he's the Fearless now. Ooh. Buildings start going up, happiness starts increasing, and then we'll have units that we can build. Units that we can train, and the great horde will cross the river running, and the thunderous sound of hooves will crash into the men of Dale, unprepared as they are. They are currently occupied with our friends in the east, as the men of Rune keep them busy. But the clock ticks, and all the while they lose to Rune. A great strength grows to their southern border. I would love that in Zananoost. I would absolutely love that in Zananoost, but I can't afford it, and it will be sometime before I can afford it.
Noble one.
Noble one.
Be an honorable battle.
Right, those two I think will probably be enough to win, particularly now the cavalry's already dead. Well, hey, repairs complete. Well done to you guys. Finally got a wall up. Zanzia 2 turns. And then we can sue. I want to do all that in this episode, really, so we'll go on for a little bit longer. I want to get Zanzia. I'd like to then get peace with Darwinian and just let Rune finish them off, because I really don't want Rune to become all-powerful. And what I've done to Darwinian... Although, I mean, I have also denied Rune advancement opportunities, because I've taken Darwinian. So hopefully Dale and Erebor are actually handing Rune their behinds, because I'd really like to ride across that river and be met... I know it sounds silly, but I'd love to ride across the river and be met with an overwhelming force of Dalian and Ereborian arms. And I'd love to have a battle where we fight against Dale and Erebor allied together. That would be the cream on the cake. Oh, and Thranduil's horse is being besieged. Things go ill in the west. High Elves and Dunland have gone to war. That's interesting. Don't see that every day. Another set of buildings. Everyone's building. Yes. Oh, and they didn't think they're strong enough, so Zankija's going to be sieged out till the end. I'm not too worried about that because it doesn't involve the Darwinian thing. But this is the last turn before Darwinian can finally accept peace. Remember, they do have the Isle of Nabur, so that will always be there. Oh, and they finally rose up. One unit. Is it even worth our time? If we fight this ourselves, we could probably get a 0 losses. We're going to fight it because I think the game's going to screw it. And it's only a couple of minutes. It won't even be a couple of minutes. It'll be seconds. It'll be over in seconds. Just watch. And if we are to lose anyone, let it be members of Oresh's company so that they can replenish.
For the moment,
Dun,
the
dun,
smile
dun,
of fortune
dun, dun,
shines upon us.
dun,
Pray,
dun,
this is
dun,
a
dun,
portent of a victory.
Dun, 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 dun. Right, you guys go over there. Just get completely out of the way. And Orash similarly. Pull back. Keep killing them. Come on, you got so many arrows. You're only at 20%. You guys are not very good at this, are you? They're interested in the general. Oh, we are killing almost none of them. It's because of the rain, isn't it? It's because of the rain. No! No! What are you doing? Why did you just melee them? Oh, for goodness sake. Why do you hate life? What is your problem? Ah. Might as well have bloody auto-resolved the thing now. That was just so ridiculous.
Fights with horns made of clay. We are winning the battle.
I don't care how few actually just died. That is just so frustrating. Why did you attack? You still had arrows left.
Victory is ours.
Ugh.
A victory both righteous
5.
and well deserved.
I know we only just lost 6 people, so it doesn't matter, really. But how stupid! Why does the AI do that? One of them had arrows, one of them didn't. So they both decided to charge in. And it's like, oh, for goodness sake. I know I shouldn't play at ×6 and I'm my own worst enemy, but I can still be disappointed with a feature that I didn't know existed until now.
We have prevailed.
Right, you better bloody like me this time, you bastards.
Are now our
500 more people now lining the streets between our capital and Zanzia. Their heads cut from their shoulders and placed at the base of the stakes that are then run through their bodies. 500 more people who could be living this day serving their new lords, but instead have chosen to rise up and have now met their fate. But at least we might be able to get peace now. And then we can turn our attention to Dale. A second Doriath. Not since the sacking of Doriath have Orifice people felt such a loss. Thranduil's halls has been taken. Oh, we make so much money we could afford to build that. That's crazy. We make loads of money. Construction reports. Zanrisa got a masonry hall and can actually train units. Are you joking? Oh. Nomadic gathering grounds. Nomad horsemen, baron raiders. That's where our troops come from, by the way. That's why we can't use other people's barracks. Because we call them nomadic gathering grounds. Military lodgings. Nomadic confederation camp, which brings an awful lot of good things. And then finally the halls of the Brotherhood, which bring in the best of the best. Warlords, Cataphract archers, and Warlords, Cataphracts. 2 very, very powerful units. But our entire military line is a single building, which helps things like what we are doing, starting somewhere else, to be very useful to us. Way station thereby, though, serves no purpose for Cand, really, because you don't have any real AORs. I'm tempted. I know many people hate that I do it, but I'm really tempted to get up to at least Master Mason's halls everywhere and then start building everything. And I'm going to be no different this time, I'm afraid. Provided they can build them, I definitely want everyone to get Mason's halls up. And we'll take it from there. Alright, Zanzia, get me one of those. And then Master Mason. Well, we might as well queue them all up, actually, and then we don't have to worry. Oh, hello. Diplomats and spies. Have I got a diplomat and a spy? Oh, I've got a diplomat. Yeah, we'll get a spy. What the hell? Can't hurt, can it? Go along next. You're building nice. And then you're going to give me that. Kishla, you're building that. That's good. So just give me one of those, please. Master Masons in Kutaji Udishi. And you're on the Master Masons where we started. Perfect. Well done, everyone. All right, Darwinian. This is it. Put your money where your mouth is. Ceasefire?
Yes, we shall listen to your proposal, but do not expect much.
I just want them to survive so that Rune have a harder time.
This proposal is
I don't want any of it.
disappointing.
Vine Lord Thane. I thought it was Vine Lord. It's Regent, isn't it? It's Vine Regent, of course. Vine Regent Howin is still alive and is therefore, I assume, in the Runic Borderlands province. Shall we go and knock on his door?
An honor to serve.
What will you do if I leave only that? Oh, yes. We're at a point where there's so few people now that they don't care. But fear will drop away, which will drop it to 75%. Oh, that's okay. That's okay. Yeah, the culture's only going to increase.
Yes.
Let's go and find out what is down here, shall we?
At once. Yes. I will only
Captain
address
Kell.
you in-
I mean, I'll take it if I can, because again, the weaker we can make Rune, the harder our campaign will be, and therefore the more fun it will be. But that's brilliant. That's laid the groundwork lovely. I'm happy with all of that. Zananust is where we want our culture to explode, because this is a stronghold, so we can get the most. We can build every building that's available to us straight away. The other place that would be helpful is Jisisa, because the Jisisa has the Inquisition. And let's just get Temple Wards and Great Beasts, which don't require culture, as you can see. But... oh, and we can build. 5,225, though. That is a lot. But we'll definitely do that, because it gives us good infantry. But as promised, let's have a look around the world and see who's been giving the elves a good going over. So, Rune. Huge armies knocking around there. Unholy Hellfire.
It will be an honor defeating
Did I miss a Darwinian Last Stand message by any chance? Because that is an outrageous Darwinian army. Where on earth has that come from? That must be a Last Stand, and they must have sailed it over there. That's crazy. That army is crazy. Darwinian actually have 2 regions. That's interesting. Burda, Monarchis, and Ostinaru. So try and take both of those, definitely. That's where they're living their lives. Oh, bloody Dol Guldur trying to steal our regions from us. It's Dol Guldur that have taken Thranduil's halls. Ah, bugger. So Dale are completely tied up with them. Curses. I mean, we've denied Dol Guldur 2 of their own regions. I would have thought that might have done enough to stop them, but apparently not. Gundabad aren't really doing anything. The dwarves knocking on Gundabad's door. Oh, blimey. And the elves have taken Witherboard. Rune really giving trouble in the north, though, to Dale and Erebor, as you can see. Yeah. Elsewhere in the world, our realm was mopped up by Rune. Oh, bugger. So Rune don't have the regions we've taken, but in turn have taken the regions we should have taken. So that's disappointing to see. Harad got Samarkand, though. But otherwise, that's everything we had has gone to Rune. Not to Mordor. That's very interesting. Dol, I was going to say Dor Amroth, that's why. Dol Amroth fighting with Harad. And, oh no, the Ardenaim are going to sweep through there. The turn is tiding for Gondor and Dol Amroth. Mordor hitting Gondor there, keeping them completely pinned. Rohan doing relatively well. They're taking Eisenrun, that's interesting to see. But Isengard punched through in Enedwaith and have taken Londangren, so... whether Rohan can keep up that pressure would remain to be seen. Normally they don't. Auto-resolve, as I've mentioned many times, does not favour cavalry, and Rohan lose because of that. Dunnan doing relatively well, though, and Moria, Mengelin, goodness, Moria are a powerhouse, holy hellfire. Diaduin, Keloniak, Mengelin, they've still got Khazad-dûm West, Khazad-dûm itself taking a ruin, nothing else really. The High Elves being absolutely bullied. Trapped in Imladris, surrounded by goblins, they're screwed. Angmar doing relatively well, but the Dunedain haven't really lost anything, and have even taken Barketta, which they don't often do. Breland doing relatively well as well. So interesting to see how the world's going to go, but for our purposes, I don't think that is Darwinian's last stand, because they've got 4 regions. And we haven't seen a message to say that they... I think that is an army. That's just a normal Darwinian army. And I think they've sailed it over there for some bizarre reason, and now it's trapped there. And I'm really hoping that Lokar and Rukar will deal with the Sabian. But we shouldn't know that a Sabian's there, really, so in many ways we've cheated. But anyway, for now, that's going to end this episode. So do tune in on Saturday morning if you're around. GMT, sometime in the morning, usually between 9 and 10 o'clock my time. Maybe latest up to about 11ish. Somewhere around there. Do come and have a look. If you have the bell icon, I understand it will tell you when I go live, but only turn the bell icon on if you're a fanatic. Otherwise, it would just be a nuisance and you'll want to turn it off. But otherwise, do have a wonderful few days. I hope to see you on Saturday, and until we speak again, na vairna den pedamad melonin, and farewell.